I am here. I am here. Everybody good. Everybody good. Everybody good. Everybody good. Can everybody hear me? Come on, talk to me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Loud and clear. Can you hear me? Come on, talk to me. I don't know what is going on. I think you can. A lot of guys are battling for certain spots. I think that's where we are now before I really get started. I'll go ahead and start off with that, even though that's not what I want to start off with. I believe that with Rico Dowdle going down, and man, I hated to see him go down because I thought he had solidified that third spot. I know he did it, but he got injured, of course. We lost him for the year. But what it did do, obviously, is open up a potential spot for Hardy and Knox as our third running back, and I believe that spot is wide open. And I really believe that will be settled tonight. On tomorrow afternoon, where I believe because they're going to get plenty of looks, plenty of carries, as most of our starters will not play at all. I don't think no starters playing. So we just got a bunch of second and third stringers that will be playing on tomorrow. Few spots will be solidified. I believe that a couple of our receivers have a chance to make a statement. The kid from Stanford, Simi, has a chance to do something probably tomorrow. But I think that whoever's going to make the team, I think that we've already kind of made that decision. That's just on what I want to say. But that's not what I want to talk about today. Here's what I want to talk about today. I see three things that can stop us. And when I say stop us, I mean from having a successful season. Now, when we say successful season, that's really all depending on what your standard is. For some would just say, give me a winning record. Well, we got 17 games, so if you say a winning record, I guess some people would be satisfied with a 9-8 record. If that's what your version of successful season is, then good. Some would say that a division championship will be a successful season. If that's what your version is, so be it. Some say we'll at least win 2 games in the playoffs. Then that's a successful season. Then, of course, obviously winning the Super Bowl, obviously is a successful season. My successful season is 10 plus games in wins. Usually, if you win 10 games in the league, 10 games will get you to the playoffs. That's the way it's traditionally always have been. I'm going to stick with that, saying that 10 games will get us there. However, I have to admit, I see 3 things that can stop us. We kind of touched on number 1, and I really don't want to get stuck here, but it has to be said again. One of the things that I think that probably will stop us is the COVID issue. We closed out the show on Tuesday with that. Got a lot of feedback from you guys with that. I really believe that the COVID issue it will be a huge factor. We already, as I said on the last show, and you've seen it since the last show, we've already seen how this issue is really starting to take over teams. There's no doubt about that. It really is. It's creeping up. I really believe that it's going to be with us the entire season. And when you get a bunch of guys who are millionaires and guys who, will have a life outside of football, it opens themselves up to what's going on. The truth of the matter is that it really is showing up piece by piece, team by team. It's going to be there. And as I said on the last show, if you get the wrong people that fall subject to be having a positive test for the coronavirus, it is going to be a problem with the COVID issue. For instance, as I said before, if our quarterback catches it, for instance, we're gonna be in trouble. You guys should know that. We all know that by now. We all know that, or we should know that by now. This is what's going to happen this whole year. And so it's almost kind of like the Patriots with Cam Newton, for instance. You see what happened there. Those days are lost. You're automatically getting 10 days away from the team if you're even just quarantining. Contact tracing is what we said on the last show. If you have problems there, we're going to have some serious issues. That's one way that things can happen. I don't think it can be avoided. I don't think it can be ignored, no matter what your stance is, no matter how you feel about it or whatever. It's here. And people are testing either negative or positive for it. And if you test positive, there are consequences that can hurt your football team. That's the bottom line. And until this thing gets under control or whatever, the NFL and all 32 teams are going to have to deal with this issue. The wrong people on your team missing games can cause your team to lose that week. No doubt about that. And so I believe that's one way that we are going to have one way that we can be stopped is the COVID issue. I'm not saying, okay, there you go. He could say that pretty much means if you get it, you're going to miss a game automatically because you have to have a practice before you have to play. I carry it, as I said on the last show, thanks, Kush. Let's carry that a step further, though. Every team has a Thursday game. So if you catch it during that wrong week where you got a Sunday game and then you come back on that Thursday and play, you're going to miss 2 games. Let's just say where everybody knows the Cowboys play on Thanksgiving week. Right there. We play that Sunday, and then we come back for Thanksgiving and play on that Thursday. For every team plays a Thursday night game. Every team. So depending on the whatever week, you're going to miss 2 games. And for a team, for those that say a successful season is a 9-8 season, well, if your team have those 2 games and your impactful players are gone, then chances are that you might lose those 2 games. And there goes your successful season. This is going to be here all year. Exactly. So, as he could just said, if you catch it around Thanksgiving stretch, you could miss 3. Exactly. Well, actually, the way that the Cowboys, exactly, because it's about let me see, if that Thursday game happened, they won't play until maybe that next Thursday or Sunday. So it's almost like another bye week. Remember, you're gone for 10 days. So, I mean, hey, this is the reality that we're living in, and the wrong player being excused from the building at the wrong time it could cost your team tremendously, at least a season. Hey, Geechee, I see Geechee say NFL using scare tactics to force players to get the vaccine. That could be argued and debated and may be true, Geechee, but all I'm going is with the bottom line. If you are tested positive, you are gone. That's all that matters. You are gone for a minimum of 10 days. it is. I mean, that's the bottom line. Whether people like it or whatever, whatever side of the track you're on, that really makes no difference. The bottom line is, if you get caught or if you have a positive test, you gone. That's going to hurt the team one way or the other, depending on who the players are. We coaches also. Dan Quinn just missed a last preseason game where he put Joe Witt as our defensive game caller, something that I don't think he's really done too much. He may call a game totally different than Dan Quinn. It hurts. It hurts. Exactly, Karen. You gone for 10 days, whatever. You gone. Thank you, Brother Bryant. You're gone. 10 days. That's going to hurt a team. No doubt about it. That's one of the things that could stop us. What's the solution? We pray that our guys just don't get it. It's just that simple. Majority of our team and staff have been vaccinated, whatever. First steps first, but as I said on the last show, really don't make a difference because vaccinated people are catching it now. So it could just destroy the whole season. If there's a gigantic outbreak, it could, it's incredible. It could tear a team apart. Not tear a team apart. Well, for some it can, because some guys in the locker room are going to be ticked off that the guys just didn't get vaccinated. That's just going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And that's one way that I care less about other teams. That's one way that we can pay the price. That's going to stop the Cowboys. All right. Geechee says not 10 days, it's 5 days, and they have to have 3 consecutive negative tests. Thank you for that correction, Geechee. If that's the case, yeah, you're right. You're right. That's all Cam had missed. Geechee is right. Let me put that up. 10 days as far as regular working people. 10 days as far as regular working people. Forgive me for that. You're absolutely right, Geechee. That is the mandate. I apologize for that. Geechee is right. That's why I got my brothers here who can help me out when I'm struggling, at least in that area. Thank you, Geechee. You're absolutely 100% correct. So 5 days, it still covers that. It still covers that if you have a Sunday game and then you got a Thursday game, you still gonna miss 2 games then. You still gonna miss 2 games. If you have a Sunday, and every team has this. Every team is playing on a Thursday night. Every team, not every team is playing on Monday nights, but every team is playing on Thursday night. So you just pray that if you are going to catch, you just hope, as crazy as it may sound, you hope that it's during that week where you just go from week to week instead of 2 games in a week. But this is the reality. That's one thing that can stop us. With the wrong person getting it, that's one thing that can stop us. Here's number 2. We should know about this, and every team falls under this, obviously. But the Dallas Cowboys, beyond a shadow of doubt, should know this. Here's number 2. Injuries. Again, the wrong person getting injured could get us in some serious trouble. For instance, Dak Prescott goes down, season is a wash. No doubt about it. Cooper Rush, no sir. Whoever the third quarterback is, let me stop right there. because I'm irritated with our quarterback room because once again, I see the word that I love to use, politics, coming into play once again. Once again, politics are coming into play. How did Gilbert just go down the drain so quick when it was obvious he was the second quarterback on this team for weeks? And all, I mean, it's like Gilbert is falling off the face of the earth. How did he fall? What did he do? What did he do? I don't know. What did Gilbert do to fall so much? And the sad part about it is, I don't have a problem with Cooper Rush. There's an advantage for Cooper Rush being in the game, being on this team. Why? He knows the system. He knows the system. Okay? I'm not knocking Cooper Rush. This is not a knock against him at all. He knows the system. He knows the playbook from front to back. That's an advantage because Cooper Rush, that means you can still run all your plays with Cooper Rush in there. No doubt about that. I'm not saying he don't supposed to be on the team, but I want to know, how did it switch so fast from Gilbert to Cooper Rush? And of course, we don't have our eyes on practice. We don't see all, what they look like in practice. I don't understand how Gilbert, who was moving the football, no, he didn't score a touchdown. He was moving the football just like everybody. We got to the red zone. Guess what? We didn't score. But previously there, from the 20 to the 20, Cooper Rush Gilbert moving the football. I don't see how he done failed so far. And now, if you notice today, when we play tomorrow, they said, speaking of Gilbert and Ben DiNucci, they'll just try to fit in. Cooper Rush will play majority of the game, and Gilbert and DiNucci will just try to fit in. How in the world did Ben DiNucci start outshining Gilbert? I ain't worried about Cooper Rush. If Cooper Rush had beat him out for the second quarterback job, so be it. I ain't seen the practice. Personally, I thought Gilbert was the second best quarterback on this team. That's me. Evidently, we're not seeing eye to eye as far as the Cowboys, but you got to trust their word on that. It is what it is. How in the world is Ben DiNucci even being considered to stay on this football team? And Gilbert is going to end up getting cut over Ben DiNucci? And somebody on Dallas Cowboys, their little podcast stuff they had, they were making a case for Ben DiNucci, saying this right here. They said that Ben DiNucci would be an excellent scout team quarterback because of some of the versatile quarterbacks that we're going to be playing this year. Some of the guys that like to move with their legs. Some of the guys that like to, move and throw at the same time. That's what Ben DiNucci would be an asset. That's what they said. He would be an asset in that area. And I'm saying, like, Gilbert would too. Gilbert moves on his legs. Gilbert has a stronger arm. Gilbert could probably do a better job than DiNucci against scout team. DiNucci's throwing 3 to 4 interceptions a game against guys that's third stringers. At least let the scout team quarterback be able to be some type of threat. But that's where the politics come into play. That's where the politics come into play. We always end up going back to the politics of keeping players on this team that should not be there. Taking somebody's spot that shouldn't have a spot. It's every year. And again, it's looking like it's about to show up again. Politics. The cornerback position. I smell some politics. I'm smelling some politics with the cornerback position. Where's Maurice Kennedy going to be at? Please don't tell me he shouldn't be on this team. Okay? Please don't tell me Maurice Kennedy don't supposed to be on this team. That's the first that I don't even want to hear that. I don't even want to hear that. I'm smelling politics. Why? Because of this. Okay? Let's go down the list. Anthony Brown, I don't care how much y'all don't like him, he going to be on this team. He might be your week one starter, too, I mean. Okay, let's get that out of the way. We all know the D's, that's 2. We know Boss Man Fat, 3. Nashawn Wright, 4. I forgot Jordan Lewis, that's 5. I got 5 defensive backs right off the top. 5. 5 defensive backs. You gonna sit and tell me the candidate is the sixth worst cornerback, best cornerback on this team? Which automatically gives him a special teams role. I get that. But let's be truthful. Maurice Kennedy has had one of the better camps than some of the cornerbacks that I just named. Why am I getting the feeling that Maurice Kennedy is just going to barely make this team? Oh, I believe he's going to make the team. I think he's earned the right to play, though. You want to put your best players on the field, right? That's what I thought. Maurice Kennedy has been one of the better teams on here. Best corners. And he's probably had a better camp, yes, than obviously he had a better camp than Jordan Lewis. I ain't heard nothing from Jordan Lewis. I'm not saying he's a better player than Jordan Lewis. I'm not but saying that. I'm just saying I ain't heard nothing about Jordan Lewis. I'm just saying. The politics will cost you. Another one. It ain't been determined yet, but we've all heard it because I got some real Cowboy fans on here. We've all heard it. Hey, 100-yard person, you're a Tampa Bay fan. Okay, well, we'll see y'all in a couple weeks. I'm on Podbean now. If you're a Tampa Bay fan, we'll see you in a couple weeks. Here's another little small politic thing going on right now. Y'all check me out. Just because Blake Jarwin came back, that don't mean that he should automatically start, right? Because what I done heard is that Blake Dalton Schultz is killing it. All I heard is Dalton. I heard nothing about Blake Jarwin. I heard one day I saw he made some of the guys. I think Law Nation was there and West Coast was there, and they showed. Blake Jarwin catching the ball, whatever. There's just one. But all I heard is Dalton Schultz. So is Dalton Schultz our day one starter? I know Jarwin gonna get time, but is Dalton Schultz our starter? I say yes. Me. That's me. I ain't heard nothing about Blake Jarwin. Huh? Gary says Brown should be special teams and only Kennedy and Lewis are better. Kennedy and Lewis are better. Politics, man. Politics, Gary. This is what I'm talking about. I think all of us agree that that Brown, if it was up to us, he'd been gone a long time ago, and justifiably so. I believe he should be gone, but man, Brown, it's Geechee right there. He said Brown should be cut, but he's not going to be. As a matter of fact, game 1 in the base defense, Brown is probably going to be your opposite corner starting off on the other side of Diggs. I'm just telling you. I said that a long time ago, though. I'd be interested to see if Boss Man done snuck up and took the job. I know Boss is going to get on the field in the nickel. He might play even the outside on the nickel and maybe a dime if we run a dime or whatever. It's going to be there. I know our guys going to get the time. Nate Sean's going to get some time out there. I can see all that happening. But where are they going to leave Kennedy? See, if you're running a nickel, I mean, you got 3 cornerbacks at least. I mean, you got 3 cornerbacks out there at least. If you run a dime, you got 4 defensive backs. Well, let's look at that. If we run a nickel, and let's just say a team come out with 3 wide receivers out. Diggs is one of the corners. Jordan Lewis is our slot, no doubt about that. Who the outside? It ain't gonna be Kennedy. I'm not saying it shouldn't be. I'm just saying it's not gonna be Kennedy. It might be Nation. It might be Boss Man. But if we run a dime, does Kennedy even make the dime position formation? I'm saying he earned it, but I believe politics gonna keep him out. It's kind of like Cox, Jabril Cox, who's had an outstanding camp. You would figure he would be in the nickel package or dime type package. You would figure that. But the politics gonna keep Cox out the game, or we gonna regulate all that talent just for special teams. Because I'm serious. I got a feeling we're gonna have a lot of guys who were impactful during camp. I believe we're gonna have a lot of guys that are gonna be limited in how they play, only because they're gonna be on special teams the whole year, and they're gonna be able to get on the field. And that's gonna be such ignorance. It's gonna be such politics, and it's gonna really irritate a lot of us. I can see it coming now. These are the things that can stop us by not putting the right people on the field at the right time. Forget a contract. If you're really trying to win, you're putting your best players on the football field. You're not putting the guys that just because they got a big contract. We done tried all that. You see what I'm saying? We have tried all of that. We've tried just because we paid you a lot of money. We put you on the field. Man, forget that. If Jabril Cox is a better person in coverage than LVE in the nickel look, get LVE out of the game. Simple football to me. It's simple football to me. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I see Gary's talking about Jordan. Jordan Lewis' only problem since he's been in this league has been his height. That's it. Jordan Lewis, however, because he's a Michigan man like I am, that's my team. I watched Jordan Lewis since he was a freshman in the University of Michigan. And Jordan did play the outside against some taller receivers and was a first-team All-American. Let me say that one more time. Jordan, because he ain't grown. I mean, he was the same height at University of Michigan. He was 5'9". He was at Michigan. He played the outside where he was a first-team All-American. See, what I'm saying is you don't know what Jordan Lewis can do when you done regulated him just playing the slot. This man, that's how he got drafted. He didn't get drafted as a slot cornerback. He got drafted because he was the best cornerback at that time on the University of Michigan. I know, I saw it. He didn't get drafted because he was a slot. He got drafted because he was an outside cornerback who made plays while he was in college. It was the Dallas Cowboys that said, Well, he's just a slot guy. He really not a tall. He's real short, and so we gotta do all that. He can't play outside. He just plays inside. Jordan played all of that when he was at Michigan. He played slot. He played outside. He was a first team All-American. How the Cowboys know he can't play outside? They ain't put him out there. How you know? He went against tall receivers in Michigan. He did. Y'all pull up. Y'all don't believe me? Go look at Jordan Lewis in Michigan. Y'all see it? Everybody was taller than him. Everybody. Again, I say he was a first-team All-American, though, which means he got dog in him. See, one thing you can't measure is dog. You can't measure dog. Jordan Lewis got dog in him. He's just a playmaker. Wherever we put him in, he made plays. You want to put him in the slot? Okay. I'll go even make sacks on the quarterback. Okay. I'll be the best slot. I can cover guys on the inside. Okay. I can do that. Jordan can play outside. We just ain't never gave him a chance. Because we were so hung up on Cheeto or Woozier. We was so hung up. That's really what the problem was. We were so hung up on Cheeto and Byron Jones. And Byron Jones, rightfully so, wasn't no sense of talking about Byron because Byron, was our best corner. So I ain't talking about him. We were so hung up on Cheeto, though. We were so hung up on Cheeto Woozier that we had a guy that could play outside, but we were so fixed on Cheeto playing outside. That's what stopped Jordan. And Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown and Cheeto. And the truth of the matter is Jordan Lewis is better than the both of them. But the Cowboys won't, the Cowboys won't do that. They won't do it. And I don't understand it. Guy, he wouldn't be the first short cornerback to play in the league. I don't care about Tampa Bay. And somebody say, well, we're going to put Mike Evans on Jordan Lewis if you do that. I don't care. Mike Evans can't outrun him. Of course, Mike Evans probably could out-jump him. I'll give you that. That don't mean he's going to catch it, though. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Give me the best guys on the field. That way I have a chance to win. Politics, man. Politics. It is one of the silent killers of the Cowboys. Always have been. I'm going to go back to Dalton Schultz again. Look, God bless Blake Jarwin. I'm glad that he made it back. He can be a tremendous asset. But let's measure things. When Dalton Schultz came out of Stanford, Dalton Schultz was primarily known as a blocking tight end. He would catch a few things. Stanford really wasn't known as a passing team. Stanford would go ahead and run the ball down your throat. They'll pound the ball, had a gigantic offensive line, and a tight end they can block. That's what he did. He could catch, hey, good, bad, and ugly, what's going on? I see you over there on Power. That's what he did, okay? Now, when he came to Dallas with that reputation, Blake Jarwin was really a wide receiver. They put him at tight end. He still has the speed. But Blake Jarwin was never known as a blocker. So we got two opposite ends of the spectrum, okay? How is the gap closed? Well, here's where the gap closed. We found out that that Dalton Schultz can catch the football. Dalton Schultz can run routes. Dalton Schultz can get open. And he had an outstanding season last year. For a guy that didn't know how to, that wasn't known as a catching tight end. Blake Jarwin was still just known as a receiving type tight end. He ain't known as a blocker. He's not known as a guy that can move guys and all. He's not known as that. So I asked, if I got one tight end who's known as a blocker and can catch the football versus a tight end that's just pretty much known as a receiving tight end, who's the most dangerous? And I get it that Blake is fast for a tight end. I get that. Of course, that's an asset. Ain't no doubt about that. But Blake Dalton Schultz, I think has a tremendous case and an argument to be our starting tight end this year. That's just my opinion. Okay? That's number 2. Injuries. I'm not even going to say anything about our offensive line because we already seen, Lyle Collins, good Lord. He's fragile, y'all. I'm sorry. I know he got a stinger and all that can happen. The season ain't got started yet, man. Lyle Collins, man. I don't know. I don't know. He just I don't know what it is. He's been hurt more than he's played. And he's so young. He's so young. And usually younger guys don't have non-stop this and that. It just don't happen like this too often. And then if it does happen, you better get ready because it's a routine. Sean Lee is the same. Sean Lee was the same way. Get over one thing, get hurt immediately the next time. This and that, just nonstop. Lyle Collins is I don't know. Somebody go out to tell somebody. I hope is just whatever. He catching stingers. You ain't even going full speed, man. You ain't going full speed. You getting stingers. Yeah. Come on now. I don't know if his body can hold up. We all know that if Tyron Smith goes down, we know if Zach Martin has a problem, injuries. And the only reason why I call these names out because these guys are Zach Martin was really the first time last year, really, but he was out for a nice amount of games. But Lyle Collins and Tyron Smith, I don't even have to say anything. We already know we're in trouble if one of those two go down. They usually go out together. So I don't have to say anything. Injuries, of course, can stop us. Finally, because I'm going to let you guys go because I know you guys are watching football and all that kind of stuff. The last thing, and maybe the most important thing that can stop the Dallas Cowboys this year is what I've been telling y'all all the time. Kellen Moore. Woo! I heard his press conference yesterday. I heard Kellen Moore's press conference. I've never seen a guy that has everything but don't know what to do with it. He got all pros. He's got pro bowlers. He's got a top 5 quarterback. He's got a top 5 running back. He's probably got the best core receivers group in the whole league. And still don't know what to do with it. I heard him say yesterday about Dak Prescott. That, of course, there's no restrictions on him. We're just going to play ball and we're going to let it rip. 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 Based on what I've seen from Kellen Moore the last 3 years, let it rip mean that he's going to throw the ball, as I've always told y'all. He's going to throw the ball 40-plus times a game. All y'all got to do is look at the strength of the team. It'll tell you where the offense is going. So all these dreams about running the football and all that kind of stuff, this is Kellen Moore, y'all. I don't know why everybody is thinking that this guy's had such a philosophy change. I don't know why we even getting our hopes built up, thinking that this man is just going to run the football down people's throat. It's not going to happen. It's not. I don't know why y'all thinking this. I don't know why you're even setting yourself up for the downfall. I don't know why you're even thinking about it. Why? It's not going to happen, y'all. It's not. It's not. I'm gonna tell you why. See, everybody talking about how great this offense is, and it is. It is. It's a dynamic offense. No question about it. But the first game of the year, do y'all realize who we playing? I mean, some of y'all think we gonna hang 35 and 30 plus points, every. That's not gonna happen. And I guarantee you that it's not gonna happen week one. No. Do y'all know who we playing? We're playing the number one run defense in the entire league last year. And I understand it was last year. I understand. But it's the same defense. And they're not giving up 180 yards rushing, 200 yards rushing. It's not going to happen, okay? Matter of fact, it's a great possibility that they're not going to give up 100 yards a game. I'm in total agreement with that because, number one, I think, Shaq Barrett and Pierre Paul and Dominican Sue and Vita Vea, those are the down four linemen. They're not giving up that. They're just not. They're not giving it up. I don't care who in front of them. They're not giving up that type of yardage away, running the football. Number two, okay, Kellen Moore ain't going to run the football enough to get 100 yards. I'm just saying, y'all. Let me tell y'all what's going to happen week one. And I'm still picking us to win now. Let me tell y'all what's going to happen week one. They're going to try to establish a run with them same vanilla type formations. And he's going to try to run the ball, bang it up the middle like he do, all that kind of stuff. And Zeke ain't going nowhere. And the very three or four times that Zeke, if he have 4 carries for about 8 yards or 4 carries for about 9 yards, please understand the shotgun formation will be happening from that point on because he give up on the game. That's why you'll see Zeke with only about 14 to 16 carries a game because he give it up too quick. If he ain't moving the ball, he going to what he know. Shotgun, 3 wide. Let's let Dak throw the ball 50 times a game, and it's going to be the same old story. Y'all realize we are playing Tampa Bay, right? Y'all do realize that this is not a crackerjack defense we play. Y'all do realize that, right? So I don't know why are we so hung up on Moore. I'm going to even tell you this. When we play the next week against the Chargers not giving up a little real running yards. I mean, a whole lot of running yards either. They're not. They're not. Come on, y'all. I don't know why we don't run the ball. With who? With Kellen Moore calling plays. That's the third thing that can stop us. Because he does not know what to do with the talent level that he has. He don't. He don't. This is just not based off this year. I've seen enough. I laugh at y'all. I have to tell you, I laugh at some of y'all. I laugh at some of y'all when y'all think we just gonna run the ball down people's throat. I'm laughing at y'all like, what evidence do you have that will support that claim? What evidence? When has Ezekiel Elliott ever gotten the ball 25 times with Kellen Moore calling the play. You can't. It's probably have happened, but once every blue moon. What evidence do you have? We're not the Tennessee Titans. If we had that philosophy, I would get with you. If Kellen Moore called the plays like Tennessee does, get a ball to Henry at least 23, 24 times a game, I'll give it to you. Y'all ain't seen that. And please don't come to me with the combined effort. Oh, you're wrong, Brooks. You're wrong, Bishop. You're wrong, Doug Brooks. Because Ezekiel Elliott gets the ball 16 times, and then Pollard gets the ball 45 times. That equals up between 20 and 21 carries. Man, get out of here. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Some smart that goes, but you got to remember, a swing pass is just like a running play. No, it's not. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Well, Ezekiel gets 2 screen passes every game. That same screen pass we've been running. That folks, it works, and folks fall for it. So, hey, that counts as no, it don't count as a running play. Just count as a screen play. That don't count as a running play. I'm talking about hand the ball off to your $90 million running back 23 plus times a game and let it happen. Don't happen. So I don't know why. What's up, dude? I see you. I don't know why we're acting like, after all this time, I don't know why we're acting like Kellen Moore has all of a sudden changed his whole philosophy. And all of a sudden now, he's just going to run the ball. He's not going to do it, y'all. I don't even want y'all hope getting built up. Tampa Bay is not going to give up all these rushing yards. It's not going to happen. I'm not saying we're not going to. I was there, Coach. I was there, Nuke. I was there. They are not going to give up that type of yardage. They're not. Gary brings up a good point. He said, I'm good running the ball, being balanced somewhat. Statistically, when Zeke gets more than 25 carries a game, we lose. Yeah. I see you, Nuke. He said. Let me give y'all the opposite end, because there's a lot of people say we're supposed to run it, and Ezekiel Elliott is a $90 million running back. He's supposed to get the football, but let me tell y'all this. Nuke. I believe that we're gonna win the game, but it's not gonna be the way everybody thinking. Let me tell y'all, which one of y'all think is? This just because some of us see the game different, okay? Some of us see the game different, and I'm not saying I'm right. I just want to know which one you think is more intimidating. 11 personnel with 2 tight ends are in the game running the ball, and Ezekiel Elliott to run back, okay? And they hand the ball, and you got 2 wide receivers out there. Do you think that's more? Which one gonna put the most pressure on a defensive coordinator? That formation, or you got Lamb, Cooper, Jarwin, Gallup, and then Ezekiel in the backfield. Which one you think is more intimidating? See, let me tell you this. As much as Todd Bowles is an aggressive defensive coordinator, just because you don't know who Todd Bowles is, Todd Bowles is the defensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he just coming off a Super Bowl. Everybody, if you're a football person, everybody pretty much knows who Todd Bowles is. Great coach. Aggressive coach. Please understand that if when you line up them 3 wide receivers out there, and Blake Jarwin out there too, and Ezekiel Elliott, or look, take Blake out, put Tony Pollard and Ezekiel in the backfield and shotgun. Please understand that the aggression that Todd Bowles has will somewhat calm down a little bit because you can't guard that. You can't guard that. Oh, you can pick your poison. Who you gonna double? Well, we got to make sure that we take out the running game. Okay, you load up the box. Load up the box. Load up the box. Go load it up. Load it up. Look, load it up. You gonna concentrate on, you gonna bring a safety down slightly in the box just in case Zeke gets this little clear 5-on-5 lineman or even box there. Instead of an 8-man box, a 7-man box, you worried about Zeke. So you slightly bring the safety down just a little bit. So just a couple of ways. And you're going to leave one-on-one with Cooper, Lamb, or Gallup. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, we scoring 30 then. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's intimidating. Your aggression level going to go down if you see that formation. I ain't got no problem with it. We are not going to, I hate to tell y'all this, and some of y'all optimistic Cowboy fans who are going to watch this later going to be saying, hey, don't be saying that, you're negative. You're negative. No, I'm realistic. We are not going to run the ball down their throats. It's not going to happen. They're too good. They should be respected. It's not going to happen, y'all. It's not. Line them 3 receivers up with Jarwin out there. Line Jarwin and them 3 receivers out there, or take Jarwin out, give me Tony Pollard and Ezekiel in the backfield in a shotgun formation with Dak Prescott. And I'm telling you right now, somebody is going to get lit up. Tony Pollard can outrun, can destroy people in the slot if you motion them out and have them line up in the slot, which would turn it into a 4-receiver set. Do y'all understand what the keys the kind of toys we got? I mean, I don't know what Kellen Moore is doing. I've been begging to see Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott in the same backfield for the last 2 to 3 years. He still ain't done that. Tony Pollard, you can motion him out the backfield. Line him up in the slot, because that's what he used to do in Memphis when he played here. Line him up out there. Then you got a 4. Look at this, y'all. Look. I'm trying to show y'all the game plan. Can you imagine Pollard coming out the backfield line with slot, and you got Cooper, Lamb in the slot, Pollard in the slot, Gallup on the outside. Now all 4 of them, with the exception of Pollard, all the receivers can play inside. Pick your choice. If you want Lamb outside, cool. You want Gallup on the slot too? Cool. You want Cooper in the slot? Cool. Can you imagine the pressure that will put on a defensive coordinator? And then you still got Ezekiel in the backfield, just in case you pull up and back up off everybody. You got Ezekiel there to run the football. This is how you destroy teams. This is how you go ahead and do it. So for the first time, all right, at least for this game coming up, throw the football. We'll run it to close out the game. Now some of y'all, and somebody gonna watch this, and I'm gonna get the comment a little bit later on all the little posts. Let me see if Podbean talking crazy to me. Let me see. Okay, they ain't got no problem on Podbean. They somewhere, I guess they agreeing with me. I ain't heard no challenge. Throw the football. Throw it. That's the only way we're gonna score against Tampa Bay. Starting off. Their front seven is incredible. I ain't got to the linebackers. We all know Devin White is a monster. We already know that the linebacker core is legit. Levante David is a Pro Bowler. I mean, come on now. Let's not act like this is some chump change. These are the defending world champions. Okay? These are the defending world champions with the same guys that they won last year. They ain't no joke. They got a killer as a defensive coordinator. They're not a joke. I'm saying we can beat them. I'm saying we're going to win if we play the game right. Huh? Exactly. Gary said that's what I'm saying, because all these people talking about running the ball like we can do it when they want to act like Tampa not the number one defense. I mean, come on, y'all. Exactly, Geechee. See, it's common sense. You know what I need? I'm going to say something. Let me read these last two comments. Gary said, that's what I'm saying, Bishop. All these people talking about run the ball like we can do it whenever we want. They're like Tampa not the number one run defense in the league. That's what they finished as last year. They don't give up the yard. Geechee said this. Geechee said, White is not great in coverage, though. We need to isolate him on a tight end or a slot wide receiver. In other words, this is what I'm saying. I need Kellen Moore for week 1. Watch this. To be Kellen Moore. What am I saying? I need Kellen Moore to throw the ball like he always has. 40. I'm sorry. You know, some of y'all ain't going to like it. I need him to throw the ball 35 plus times against Tampa. I need Kellen Moore to be Kellen Moore. I don't mind Ezekiel only having 16 carries. I don't mind this game because that's what it's going to take. All y'all folks are going to watch this later on and listen to this on Podbean during the week. All you guys who are legitimately talking about running, look, it will be a time to run the football like that. It will be a time coming up that we will have to run the football because teams are going to be weak. But let me be very clear. It is not in week 1. It's not. It won't be in week 1. It will not be. It will not be. We're not going to go crazy running the football. I even go a step further, y'all. It is not going to be in week 2 against the Chargers. It's not. It's not. Philly game, maybe. That's week 3. Philly game, I'm expecting by that time, everybody be saying, why ain't Zeke getting the ball? Everybody be crying by week 3 and saying Zeke need to touch the ball. The offense run through Ezekiel Elliott. The offense do this and all that. The offense is stirred by Ezekiel Elliott. That's what it's going to be saying by week 3. And probably we can run against Philadelphia, give them the ball. It'll be good. It's not going to happen week 1 and week 2. And you know what? I'm feeling go crazy even more. Now, hey, y'all know me. You know, I just call it like I see it. Let me tell y'all this. The time has come. I told y'all this last year. Can we look, it's not Ezekiel Elliott's team no more. It's not. I don't care which way you want to look at it. Financially, it's not Ezekiel Elliott's team no more. Offensive philosophy is not Ezekiel Elliott's team no more. It's not. This team is operated and ran, whether we like it or not, by Dak Prescott. They have drafted to put these guys around, not Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott. They put Lamb, they drafted Lamb to give Ezekiel Elliott weapons. No, that ain't how it went. They drafted Lamb to give Dak Prescott. Hey, Joe from Italy, man. Appreciate you, Joe. Joe from Italy. Thank you, man. Appreciate you popping in. You know, we just got to tell the truth. I know what we want. Hey, Tex, I'm glad to see you on Podbean. Look, let's just, can we just stop it? Can we be real? I know what we want, but can we just be realistic for just about 5 minutes? This team is not ran by Ezekiel Elliott anymore. It is not. Lamb is there to help Dak out. The only way you do that unless you throw him the football. These receivers, we don't have, look, it's kind of common sense, y'all. We are not having these type of receivers so we can just line up and try to shove the ball down people's throat. That's not what, it's common sense, y'all. It's common sense. It's common sense, y'all. Just in case you know, he could say, y'all want to watch the NFL, if you're watching Nebraska and Illinois, Green Bay is getting beat by Buffalo 19-0 right now. Of course, we ain't putting no value into that because we all know Aaron Rodgers hadn't played, so that's really not done worth talking about. Nobody's playing in that game for Green Bay. Joe, to keep that healthy, we need to run the ball. Joe is, let me talk to Joe. Joe just came in. Joe is watching from Italy right now. Okay. Joe, I know you're a smart football guy. Let me give you the facts. I'm not talking opinion. I'm not coming against your statement at all. I'm strictly speaking of week 1. I'm not looking toward, well, I did look toward the future when I was talking about the Chargers and Philly, but let's just stick with week 1. Joe, I need you're a football guy. And you see what Geechee said. Joe, I'm about to come against you. Joe, you listen to me and you listen to West Coast and you listen to Boss. All them guys are incredible. I'm not coming against them. I'm just going to state my case. Here it is, Joe. Joe, listen. Do you understand what Tampa Bay has on their side of defense? Okay. They were number 1 against the league in the run last year. They have the same players. I understand they're a year older. Do you understand who their defensive coordinator is? The defensive coordinator is Todd Bowles. If you know anything about football, when I say Todd Bowles, you automatically know he is a great defensive coordinator. Okay? Their front 7 is legit. I mean, flat out legit. I ain't even talking about the linebackers. Okay? Let me give you their defensive line, Joe. Joe, I'm talking to you. I need you to think. Don't respond yet. If you can, just hold on. You got Pierre Paul. You got Shaq Barrett. Those 2 guys on the edges. You got Ndamukong Suh in the middle. And you got Vita Vea also there. All 4 of them guys are monsters. I think we can agree with that, okay? Your linebackers, you got 2 legitimate monsters. You got Levante David, and then you also have Devin White. Okay? Your front 7 is nasty. Last 2 years, they're number 1 in the run against defense. I think Geechee put something up there. I got you, Joe. Thank you. I think Geechee put something up earlier before you came in that said they've given up 77 yards total in the last 2 years as an average in the last 2 years against the run. In other words, we're talking about a great run-stopping defense. Do you really think that we're going to really be able to run the ball like everybody's saying we need to run the ball? I mean, I get it that we need to keep them somewhat balanced, and you need to bang it up. That if you're getting 2 yards or 3 yards, I get it. But Ezekiel is not going to run for 100 yards that game. Maybe Thursday night. Then let me throw this in at you, Joe, because you watch the Cowboys, okay? You watch the Cowboys. What philosophy does Kellen Moore run? Is he more of a passing offense, or is he more of a running offense? He don't run the ball. So here's my question, Joe. Why all of a sudden we think that Kellen Moore is about to change his philosophy when all the evidence shows that Dak Prescott is going to throw the ball 35 plus times a game? Ezekiel is going to run the ball under 20 times a game. This is what the evidence shows. Why all of a sudden we think there's going to be a switch of philosophy? That now all of a sudden Ezekiel is going to run the ball 25 times a game. And Dak is only going to throw it 23 times a game or 24. What is that? When all this happened? You do realize, Joe, that we still have Kellen Moore. There's no way that we're going to run the ball crazy against Tampa Bay. It's not. So, contrary to some of my brothers in the podcast community, I'm going total opposite for week 1 at least. Week 1, we got to throw the ball, Joe. We got to throw it. Here's what I said, Joe. You came in a little bit late. I'm doing this for Joe, y'all. And for those who else are Podbean, I see some more people came in on Podbean. Here's my thing. I see you text. Text says Kellen Moore is not a passing OC or a running OC. He is just a smart OC that using the tools he has been given logically. But text, all that points to passing the football. He don't run the ball. Look at his stats. Look at Ezekiel's stat the last 3 years. I don't count last year. Everybody was hurt. Joe said, I understand what you're saying, but I don't believe that Dak is healthy right now. I wouldn't depend on too much our passing game, maybe in week 4, but not right now. I have to disagree with you on that, Joe. I don't know about that healthy part. But unless you don't plan on scoring no more than if you're talking about scoring maybe between 12 and 16 points, then your statement is true. Because we ain't scoring if we running the ball. Not against Tampa. We're not. We're not scoring. And our defense is not good enough to shut down Brady like that. That ain't gonna happen. If we ran the ball like y'all want to run the ball against Tampa, we're not gonna beat with it. Because number one, that run defense is legit. It ain't gonna be too many long drives if we just trying to establish. It will shock me. Would I be happy if it happened? Yes. Oh my God. I just don't see it that way. We need to cool off Todd Bowles, who is a blitzing defensive coordinator. If you line up those 3 receivers out there, you won't be blitzing as much because you got to have somebody there to cover. And if you let that have one-on-one with those 3 receivers, even if you double one, 2 of them going to have one-on-one. I take my chances with that. Now, as far as him being hurt, everybody say he's fine. If you've been watching Joe, I don't know how much stuff you get, but in practice, he's throwing the ball. My God, they done ramped it up. I mean, he's throwing it nonstop now. I ain't talking about no dink and dunk pass. He's throwing down the field. Had an MRI. The MRI came back negative. You got to throw the ball. There's only one thing left with Dak we need to find out. Well, he needs to find out. And that is him getting up after he gets hit. That's it. That's the final piece to the puzzle. That's it. Everything else is ready to roll. The ankle is fine. Tremendous comeback by him. Tremendous comeback. by him. No doubt about that. The ankle is fine. They don't even talk about it hardly no more. They're just talking about his arm. Huh? But to beat Tampa Bay, you can't afford all these 2 straight 3 and outs and three out of your 4 drives. 3 of them was 3 and outs. You can't do that against Brady. You just can't. We already know this. You got to put points on the board. And nothing is more scarier, at least in my view, than to put those 3 receivers out there with Blake Jarwin. I mean, you got to scare Bowles. You got to scare him. Tex says, I'm on Podbean now. Tex says, yeah, he does not run the ball when he has a top quarterback and 3 top wide receivers. Why would he run the ball with all the weapons he has to throw the ball? Exactly. The point is, it does not matter who the OC is. With the weapons they have, they will throw the ball more if they are given this team. Brady never starts strong during the season. Tex just said it best. That's why I said earlier, it is not about Zeke Elliott. This used to be a Zeke Elliott's team. That's because Dak wasn't throwing the ball back then. Everybody want to go back to 16. Y'all do remember Dak was a rookie, and he didn't, they had to protect him. That's why all the play call was going to the run. Dak is not the same quarterback that he was 2016. He has progressed incredibly. This team now is Dak's team. We throwing the football. I'm just telling y'all. A lot of y'all going to be disappointed again because Zeke Elliott is not going to have the kind of carries you think he's supposed to have a game. The time has come. They have drafted to throw the football. That's how they drafted. They got offensive linemen for double. To maul people, and can you pass protect? The skill positions, we've done it not to support Ezekiel Elliott. We've done it to support Dak in throwing the football. Why would you not throw the football when you got Lamb, Gallup, and Cooper? It just does not make sense. We say, hey, we're going to pound the rock 30 times a game. You're defeating the purpose of the strength of your team. It's not our fault. It's just the way they drafted. You are going to throw the football. Kellen Moore is going to be Kellen Moore. It's just that simple. Long as he get inside the 5-yard line, I'm begging him to run the ball in. Please. If you're at the 2-yard line, stop throwing the dang bubble screen. Stop running reverses from the 10-yard line. Stop making, run the ball in. Look, if it's Zeke, look, let me tell you what, as crazy as it may sound, watch this, y'all. If it's Zeke Elliott has 22 carries for 50 yards, but he got 3 touchdowns, I'm extremely happy. Because probably those 3 touchdowns came inside the 5-yard line. And he decided to run the ball. And Ezekiel Elliott got in the end zone from the 2-yard line, the 1-yard line. On 3 out of 4 drives, he got 3 touchdowns. I'm happy. You tried to commit to the run. You couldn't run because the defense too good. But inside the 3-4, inside the 5-yard line, which is where the Cowboys seem to always get in the red zone, you ran the ball, Ezekiel cashed in. I'm very happy. 20 carries for 48 yards, but 2 touchdowns. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. The commitment to try to run was there. When you got inside the 5, you scored. I'm extremely happy. Okay? I'm extremely happy. All right. I'm trying to tell y'all. I don't know why. Y'all, some of y'all going to be crying. Woo-wee. Why are we running? Because you can't run. That's why you're not running. We got 3 of the best offensive linemen in the game. Yeah, but they ain't blocking. They look. They going against Pro Bowls. They're going to Dominican Sue too old. He's still strong though. I don't When you play his position, it ain't about making plays. It's about holding the line. Dominican Sue can still do that. Vita Vea is the one that can make plays. I ain't got to say nothing about Shaq Barrett and Pierre Paul. We already know what time it is. So, come on, y'all. So at some point, we got to be realistic. But at least for game one, Joe, I don't know if you're still on here, but if you are, I sure appreciate you. For game one, y'all going to have to put that running the ball thing in the closet for a minute. See me in week 2. I might change my mind on the Chargers. I don't know. But I ain't changed it on week 1. Week 1, destroy these guys in the air. We'll close out running the ball. Exactly. Gary said, yeah. Gary said this. And y'all really getting into technicalities now, but that's good stuff. Gary says on Facebook, for those on Podbean, listen to this comment. My brother Gary says we have a better chance running to the outside, and that's going to be difficult. I actually like that. In other words, the stretch play, even the screen play, Pollard running outside maybe. If they give it to him, either side is probably going to get a good chance. The only question is then, can we get to White and Levante David in time to maybe bust one of those things? Because they can run. The linebackers can run. That's the only question. Running inside, it ain't going to be too much success. It's not. It's just not. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Can we get to the house? That's right. If I was to run the ball, I'd primarily be running stuff outside. Out tackle, sweep, stretch plays, all of those things. But trying to just bang it in there, nah. Unless you like this, first down and 10, okay, they're really banging inside. Okay, if you like 2nd and 9 or 2nd and 8, okay, then that's you. On a consistent basis, I may add. 2nd and 9, 2nd and 8. And then more gonna throw the ball in. You know that. If y'all think Dak Prescott is not fit to throw this ball 35 to 40 times coming up, if not more. Because I promise you, if the Cowboys can't run, he will give up on the running game. We done seen it, y'all. Stop acting like that we don't know how Kellen Moore is. Please, let's stop that. He will give up on the running game. Then you guys are going to be like, wow. He gave up on it. He quickly gave up on it. All right, those are the 3 things. Kellen Moore really is my number 1. Because it's a shame when you got keys to a Lamborghini and then don't know how to crank it up. It's a shame. It's a shame, as Texas said on here. As Texas said on here, he has all the weapons. Tex on Podbean say he has all the weapons and don't know what to do with it. He don't. He don't. We done seen 3 years of it. Well, put it this way. He doesn't know completely what to do with it. There are spells in the game where we wonder, has he ever called plays before? And that's been primarily in the red zone. From the 20 to the 20. From the opponent's 20, hey, Mike, from the opponent's 20 to our 20, Kellen Moore is incredible. That's why he always have one of the top offenses in the whole league. From the 20 to the 20, I have no complaints about Kellen Moore. He's a great play caller. When he get inside that 20-yard line, though, that's where we start wondering, what in the world is he doing? And it's been consistent for the last 2.5 years. We're going to find out real quick if he's gotten better. in the red zone with his play calling. I hope that he grabbed all the tape from last year. I hope he studied his red zone play calling, and I hope he made adjustments. I mean, that's all we can hope for. But as of right now, I'm still saying it. He is the worst red zone play caller in the NFL. Kellen Moore is. For a team that always seemed to get into the red zone, he is the worst play caller in the NFL from the red zone. That's been my statement. I ain't backing up off it until he changes it. That's all I'm going to say. Listen, I appreciate you guys hanging with me. Let me say this. Okay, let me get it for you. Let me get it for you. Well, the same as Jason Garrett when he called play. Exactly. Jason Garrett. Well, I'm going to tell you, I ain't going to blame Garrett on that, Garrett. The only reason why I'm not going to blame on that, one thing about Tony Romo. Tony Romo put touchdowns on the board. Yes, he did. I can't say that about Jason. Tony Romo scored. Dez Bryant scored too much. T.O. scored too much. Tony Romo had too many touchdowns, passes. I can't say that about Garrett. And Romo covered a lot of mistakes. Exactly, Gary. Gary just made an excellent point. For those on Podbean, he said Romo called his own plays. Romo had the liberty to go right on up there and change the whole thing up. And a lot of times, we remember Romo letting the clock go all the way down to 1 before he snapped because he didn't change the play. Romo put points on the board. Now, we gave up on him, but we can't. Romo put points on the board. We leaving a lot of it out because of bad play calls. We leave a whole lot of points on the board. Off the board, I'm sorry, because of bad play calls. That's what Kellen Moore got to get better at. Listen, for those on Twitch, YouTube, all of that, I put it there in for if you want to support me and become a premium member of this podcast and support the podcast. There it is for you. All you do is click on that link, make a decision, and if you do, I appreciate it so much. If not, I appreciate your ear, just hanging with me. If you're on Podbean, you should see where it says become a patron. All you have to do is click on to that, and if you do that, I would appreciate that so much and just supporting your boy out. If not, I just appreciate your ear. Here's what I do want from everybody, and it's not hard, and it's not going to cost you anything. Whatever you're watching me at, if you're watching from the Big Time Show page on Facebook, if you have not followed me, please follow me off that and subscribe. All you got to do is click on the notification. If you're on Podbean, if you have not followed the show, you will get the notification when I come on. I come on every Tuesday and every Saturday. Tuesdays at 7:30. Saturdays usually at 3 o'clock, but I had to do something today. That's why I came on a little bit earlier. One last thing. Can everybody do me a favor if you have not? Listen to me. I need everybody to do me a favor. I appreciate you, Joe, from all the way from Italy. Joe, before you leave, do this for me if you have it. I need everybody, if you're on Podbean, same rules apply also, or at least my what I'm asking. I need you to go to YouTube. For all of you have YouTube, go and find the Big Time Show channel. There's another Big Time there. I'm going to copyright it, so it's only me. Go to that and follow. Just subscribe to it, please. That's all I ask you. If you're on Podbean, if you have a YouTube account, I'm going to type it in for you on Podbean as well. I need you to go to YouTube And will you please follow my YouTube? And there it is there. The Big Time Show. I'm sorry, I typed that wrong. It's the Big Time Show channel for those that are there. If you're, I don't know if I typed that in right on Facebook. It's the Big Time Show channel. I'm sorry. I'm typing it in on for you, Podbean. There it is there. I appreciate your text. I see you got me on there. Did I put that? Yeah, I did. Okay. Follow, please go there and subscribe to it if you don't mind. I would appreciate it. Listen, I'm out. I actually been on here too long. Reason why I came on at 1:00 instead of 3:00 today is real simple. I am the defending champion in one of my fantasy football drafts, and my draft is at 3:00 today, and I'm in with my fraternity brothers, and it's real knockdown, drag out type league in which I am the champion. I am the best. I am the greatest. I am the man. And I'm about to draft at 3:00 in less than 30 minutes as I prepare to defend my championship, of which I am the best. I am big time. I am the greatest. I am the best. And please, some of y'all, I already know what some of y'all thinking. Some of y'all fantasy football players are already getting a little swelling in your voice and inside because y'all think that y'all are the greatest too. Please don't challenge me. Don't challenge me, y'all. Don't challenge. I already know. I can feel it. I can feel it through the screen. Some of y'all already on Podbean. Some of y'all think y'all are the best. I get it. I get it. I get it. I can assure you that I'm not. Look, I know what I'm doing. Okay, I got to defend my title, and so I need full concentration. I was thinking about doing the show and the draft at the same time, and maybe get some of y'all help and help me out in my draft. But I decided no, I need full concentration. I'm going to do what I got to do. So at 3:00, less than 30 minutes away, I got to draft. I got to clear all this stuff out of my computer. I'm going to get locked in. I already know what I got to do. It's a keeper league. I'll let y'all in on it. I kept Aaron Rodgers. It's a PPR league. Aaron Rodgers was scoring almost 50 points a game for me last year. So it was a no-brainer. My choices were between him and DeAndre Hopkins. I had both of them on my team. I let DeAndre Hopkins go and kept Aaron Rodgers. That might mess some of you up, but because somebody will say, well, Hopkins, is rated higher than Aaron Rodgers, which he is. But DeAndre, who had over 100 catches last year, he's a dynamite player. But considering double teams, considering their division, who they're going against, I don't think DeAndre he's gonna have a great year. But I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna have a better year this year. See how my strategy. I just killed some of y'all with that one right there because y'all think I should have kept DeAndre Hopkins. I just told you, San Francisco defense is back. Seattle's always a tough game. Who else in that division there? I forgot. St. Louis. St. Louis, that's Jalen Ramsey, who will be on him. That's 2 games. Jalen, he's going to do well. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins going to do well. I just think Aaron Rodgers is just Aaron Rodgers. That's why I kept him. That's why I'm the champ for decisions like that. That's why I'm the champ and you're not. I'm just kidding, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let's go ahead and get out of here. I'll see you guys on Tuesday or unless something crazy happens. Until then, y'all know how we leave. Y'all can't leave this building until y'all do something for me. It ain't going to cost you nothing. Just a little joy. I need everybody that's still in this house to do one thing. I'm going to holler at y'all. See you on Tuesday as we get ready to go. See how I took my stance, Joe. I don't know if you still, but Joe, thank you coming for participating from Italy. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you guys support me. Don't get mad. It's just that I tell it like it is, because you know what this is, right? This is The Big Time Show. Yeah. Podbean. We're going to see you. See you on Tuesday. Come on, clap your hands, y'all.